Good morning, Hornets, and welcome back to your daily dose of Beech Grove Student News. I'm Joshua Parker.
And I'm Tiana Baxter. Today we are going to be taking a look at Shop with a Cop, the ClueCast, and as always, sports.
But first, we're going to throw it over to Juliet Kaufman for this week's weather forecast.
What a fantastic morning, Hornets. Today felt just the right amount of chilly. Expect a high of 38 and a low of 30, although if you dress correctly, you should feel very comfortable in this winter air. Tomorrow will be a high of 36 with a low of 26. Wednesday will be a high of 32 and a low of 27. Thursday will be a high of 36 and a low of 20 with a 60% chance of snow. And finally, Friday will be a high of 31 and a low of 21. I hope you all have the coziest of weeks. Back to you guys at the desk.
The Southport community is mourning the loss of a student and star athlete killed in a car crash. Rashawn Hoskins, 18, was killed in a Greenwood crash Saturday night at the intersection of US 31 and Main Street just after 10 p.m. Hoskins was a two-star athlete, a former member of the basketball team, and an outstanding football player. We here at Bgsn are thinking and mourning along with the Southport community.
On Friday, November 30th, former President George H.W. Bush sadly passed away due to having vascular Parkinson's syndrome at the age of 94 in Houston, Texas. He was also the last president to be a World War II veteran, and his stay in office was from 1989 to 1993. Though he served as Commander-in-Chief of this great nation decades ago, his impact still resonates even today. We here send our condolences to the entire Bush family for their loss.
The Dance Refinery, along with BG Choirs, is putting on the Nutcracker here at Beech Grove High School in the auditorium. The show will be taking place Saturday the 8th of December and Sunday the 9th of December. Saturday's show will be taking place at 7 p.m. and Sunday's show at 2 p.m. Tickets are $10 pre-sale and $12 at the door. Be sure to come and see the great show.
New information about this next big play came out over this weekend. Here's Garrett Norcross with more.
Mr. Bush sent out an email this past weekend to all the people who auditioned for the new play Clue. This tells you the response he needs from the people in the cast list, and he also says we were blown away by auditions. We had so much talent audition, and each of you should be proud of yourself. For this play, there will be two different casts, one being the Hasbro cast and the other being the Parker Brothers cast. This will, for Mr. Wadsworth, it will be Madeline Adamson and David Reno. For Professor Plum, it will be Terrace Pope and Seth Rumler. For Miss Scarlett, it will be Jillian Curd and Mackenzie Martin. For Miss Peacock, it will be Sarah Ramsey and Lynn Scott. For Colonel Mustard, it will be Milo Anderson and Spencer Chapman. For Miss White, it will be Mackenzie Collins and Paige Lamar. For Mr. Green, it will be Max Gallagher and Jalen Pape. For Yvette, it will be Taylor McLeod and Juliet Kaufman. For Mr. Body, it will be Garrett Norcross and Evan Lamar. For the Motorist, it will be Lindsay Glover and Andy Galvez. For the Cop, it will be Josiah McIntosh and Jordan Rail. For the Cook, it will be Aubrey Bacchus and Mania Denton. For the FBI agents, it will be Dustin Masbaugh and Miles Bowden, Shamar Jensel, Marcus Bowden. For the singing telegram lady, it will be Gabby Vant or Riley Jafires. Due to there being two casts, Mr. Bush stated that we had some very strong auditions and we couldn't narrow it down. About the play, Mr. Bush also said that Clue is a fast-paced comedy, which should be really fun to work on. For those wondering what to do next, there will be a meeting after school today for both the casts, unless you are listed as an FBI. From the TV studio, I am Garrett for BGSN.
There is a local community service opportunity this weekend. Here's Austin with more.
Last Thursday, November 29th, Mrs. Anderson sent out an email to all sophomores, juniors, and seniors about an opportunity to help with Shop with a Cop this upcoming Saturday, which is December 8th. Shop with a Cop is an annual event held by the Beech Grove Police Department to help less fortunate families acquire things such as clothes for their children. After shopping, the children and police officers usually go out and do something like eat a meal, or in this year's case, they go to Great Times. Shop with a Cop is funded through donations received from our community. Students who volunteer for this event will be at the Walmart on Emerson from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help out, and can go to Great Times with a group afterwards, however they will not be required to. Students will be asked to go around the store with one or two elementary students to help them choose various different clothes and toys. In addition, volunteers will help supervise the elementary students. This is a chance to get some community service hours and have some fun at the same time. Mrs. Anderson only needs 15 students to help out, so make sure to contact her if you're interested in signing up or if you have any questions. From Beech Grove High School, I'm Austin McGuire for Beech Grove Student News.
Today for lunch, we'll have a choice of roasted turkey with gravy and apple crisps.
Wow, that does sound good, Josh. And in the other line, we'll be having a choice of chicken drumsticks with mashed potatoes.
And as always, the deli line and pizza line will be open, Tiana. Now let's toss it over to my good buddy, Johanathan Donson, for sports.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to your Daily Dose of Sports. In Beech Grove news, the boys basketball team had a game on Friday at Speedway. They battled back and forth throughout the game, but towards the end, the boys took away the win 55-47. This makes them 2-0 in the ICC. They had a collective team effort to pull away with the lead. Their next game is this Friday at Park Tudor. However, they will also play the next day at home versus Emmerich Manual High School. Now, here's some highlights from their game against the Sparkplugs.
It's Bgsn.
On Thursday of last week, both swimming teams traveled to Decatur Central. 10 boys had new personal records. Janusz Vlish-Collins finished first in the 200 free and 100 fly, as well as anchoring a winning 200 freestyle relay team. Andy Galvez also had a first-place finish in the 100 free. For the girls, Hannah Rowe and Emily Leake finished first and second, respectively, in the 200 free. Rowe and Rebecca Lamb also finished first and second, respectively, in the 100 free. Both teams' next meet is tonight at Shelbyville High School. In Pacers news, they finished out their road trip on Sunday with a disappointing loss to the Sacramento Kings by one single point. Bogdanovich had 27 points, and Darren Collison and Miles Turner both had a double-double. Doug McDermott added 14 off the bench, but it wasn't enough to finish off the game. They will have their next game tomorrow night versus the Chicago Bulls. It still has not been announced whether Victor Oladipo will be back from his knee injury. However, we will keep you updated on his progress. College football playoff semifinalists were decided yesterday. They are Alabama as the 1 seed, Clemson as the 2 seed, Notre Dame as the 3 seed, and Oklahoma as the 4 seed. Many people have argued whether Oklahoma should be the 4 seed or not. Many thought that Ohio State had a claim because of their strength of schedule. And others thought that Georgia should get another shot, even though they lost to Bama in the SEC championship. Ohio State will play Washington in the world-famous Rose Bowl, while Georgia will face the Big 12 runner-ups Texas in the Superdome in New Orleans. The first semifinal of the college football playoff will be at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, between Notre Dame and Clemson. The second semifinal game will be Alabama versus Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. The winners of those games will then play for the national championship in Santa Clara, California on Monday, January 7th. In NFL news, the Green Bay Packers fired their head coach Mike McCarthy right after a loss against the Arizona Cardinals at home, 20-17. McCarthy has been the Packers head coach for 10 years, and every year that Aaron Rodgers has been a starter. Joe Philbin was promoted to interim head coach while the Packers start their coaching search. They're the second team this season to fire their coach during the season, the other one being the Cleveland Browns. It was an extremely rough day for the Colts yesterday. One of the few upsides was they kept their streak of having at least one turnover in a game, being one of only teams to do so. Danico Autry was one of the few Colts players who had a good game, where he had 7 tackles, 3 of which were tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles, 1 of which was recovered. The Colts would lose 6-0. They fell to 6-6 on the season, well behind the Texans and the 7-5 Ravens, who beat the Falcons on Sunday 26-16. The Colts' next game will be a challenging one when they travel to Houston. That's all for sports today. Back to you guys at the desk.
That's all for your daily dose of BGSN 10.
Teachers, don't forget to hit that bell icon and subscribe button to get notified every time we go live.
Also, make sure to follow us on social media at BG Student News. I'm Tiana.
And I'm Josh. Don't forget, Hornets, you're beautiful, you're one of a kind. Have an absolutely magnificent Monday.